For a brief rundown, someone by the name of Deviant Chrome made a video about PhantomStrider. I don't watch either, but I was shown this video. And honestly, it's terrible. If you think it's just a guy crying over someone having an opinion that doesn't align with his own, you wouldn't be wrong.
Well, I'm back a bit sooner than expected. I did plan to make a video this week about Pokemon, but I decided to make a surprise video over what I recently saw. For those not aware, I took a break because after making 3 videos in a week for a while, I got emotionally drained and emotionally tired, so I decided to take a break from doing videos for like 2 weeks. And now I'm going to go back to making videos, but it's just going to be 1 video a week on Fridays, aside from like surprise videos like this where I had to talk on a topic that's, relevant or recent, or in this case, important. Today I'm talking about PhantomStrider. You may know him as a top 10 channel that, makes top 10s about animation, and they're fairly bland, boring, and derivative. Really repetitive, and just not a channel I really like that much. Then why am I talking about a channel that's boring, repetitive, and not worth watching? Well, that's because PhantomStrider is a transphobic prick. In one of his videos, Worst South Park Episodes Commentary, he talks about trans people for a bit, and oh god.
The first thing some people talk about is that the idea that I'm anti-transgender or something. And it's a difficult subject because while I feel, if someone really doesn't like being in their own body and they simply cannot think of any other way, and if that's what they have to do, that's what they have to do. But I just hate the idea of any of people I know or love or any of my friends mutilating themselves. And I just think, I hope it would be a last resort for people to do something like that, because it's, irreversible change. And so anyway, that's a very heavy sort of subject, and it's certainly not something I'm qualified to talk about.
Yeah, there's a lot of bullshit to talk about here, so let's just jump right into it.
A lot of bullshit to jump right into is whatever idiocy you're going to respond with next.
How the hell is transitioning surgery mutilating yourself?
You're cutting your genitals up to take on the appearance of another genitalia. The mutilation or maiming, from the Latin mutilus, is cutting off or injuring to a body or part of a person so that the part of the body is permanently damaged, detached, or disfigured. The penis in itself is permanently damaged. Testicles detach and is then intentionally disfigured by medical practitioners for the purpose of looking the way the patient wants.
Like, really, let's think about that for a minute. Here's a good question for everyone. Would you all consider heart surgery mutilating yourself?
False equivalency. Heart surgery could easily be repairing your heart to lessen the risk of the problems or to even fix a problem. In many cases, it's needed. It totally isn't like that's your heart, the organ pumping blood throughout your body and keeping you alive and has been pumping every day of every moment that you exist. Who the fuck needs that? Fucking pussies.
No, you wouldn't, because that's dumb. Heart surgery is done to overall help your health, just like how transitioning surgery is overall done to help someone's mental health.
It's done to help physical health, and mental health are 2 different things. It is still a cosmetic surgery. Someone could hate their body due to the lack of breasts or the lack of ass fat. Some cases are extreme, and so they look at options like Botox or implants. Those are cosmetic. Another example of cosmetic surgery, making the ear look pointed, or hell, Little Uzi Vert just put a diamond in his head. The point is, it's doing a procedure to alter the look of something because the patient wants it to have a different appearance. Also, this crow is built like Abby. Look at them arms. Reps. Those are the arms of reps.
Good example of one of the things that has helped solved by transitioning is gender dysphoria. Gender dysphoria is a feeling of discomfort or distress that might occur in people whose gender identity differs from their sex assigned at birth or sex-related physical characteristics. People who have gender dysphoria also often experience discrimination resulting in minority stress. Access to health services and mental health services can also be difficult due to the fear of the stigma and a lack of experienced providers. Adolescents and adults with gender dysphoria before gender reassignment might be at risk of suicidal ideation, suicide attempts, and suicide. After gender reassignment, suicide risk might continue though. But most of the time, when people transition, they feel more comfortable with themselves overall. They don't have to fear about people, saying that, hey, you're transgender or whatever because they look more passing. So back to the whole heart surgery thing. What if you had a lot of discomfort with your heart due to the fact that it's not working properly? And of course, that can cause mental stress and anguish.
He's really playing the semantics. It can cause death. The heart could stop or have trouble delivering blood. The person isn't upset with the appearance of their fucking heart and wanting it changed. They're stressed because they die from it stopping.
Just like gender dysphoria, except without the heart stuff.
And your entire argument was just flopped because of that.
Just like gender dysphoria, except without the heart stuff.
And it's gone.
And it crashed, just like that.
So here's this medically necessary procedure. What if someone just went like, maybe you shouldn't. Use it as a last resort, man.
Again, false comparison or equivalency. You can't just walk into wherever you want and get life-saving heart surgery. You need to have the heart problem, and even then surgery is the last options doctors want to resort to. You need to have a heart problem for them to even do a surgery. If you want anything altered about your body, you just need to go to a cosmetic surgeon and have the funds.
As if to say the medical treatment that will make you better is a bad thing.
If your penis was falling off or rotting, or necrotic, maybe your semantics could maybe work. But if you're saying taking a healthy penis, healthy testicles, and just removing them and altering them, that isn't medically necessary. Fixing, I don't know, your fucking heart is.
Even though it's not. Now, there is often the dumb argument of, oh, but what if they aren't trans and they want to have the surgery? Oh! Wow, what a good argument. Some people shouldn't get this life-saving surgery because, some people might take the surgery and use it even though they don't need it. Sorry, dude, maybe we shouldn't have that heart surgery because, you might be faking needing a heart surgery.
God, his voice is so annoying. It's not a life-saving surgery. It's a surgery that alters the penis. Surgery itself is not saving the body. In terms of suicide, suicide is done by the person in the body, ending the body's life. The cosmetic surgery itself is not working on anything important. Causation versus correlation. Someone clearly didn't learn this. And considering he's discussing both psychological and scientific methods here, though terribly, you should definitely know what that is.
I find this argument really fucking dumb because it comes with the assumption that, transitioning is super easy. It doesn't take months of shots and, having to go to surgery, which is rather expensive as hell. Or the alternative where it's not expensive as hell and it just takes a long time to do and you gotta reschedule. Yeah, if someone was faking it, they sure would go through all that bullshit just to fake it. The argument actually makes little to no fucking sense.
Your argument is really fucking dumb because you constantly use false equivalences to try and convey a point, which in return choke the point of its meaning. Along with this, you clearly have no idea what causation versus correlation is. Causation is the heart itself stopping. Thus, lack of blood flow to the body starts to die. The brain itself can last like 5 to 10 minutes without oxygen. If you're lucky, you won't have damage, just after 2 to 3 minutes. Blood carries oxygen, your heart pumps the blood. Now to correlation, you make the correlation, the claim, that the patient will kill themselves, and you blame the penis for this. It would only be life-saving if the genital was, in this insane example, a tumor that sucked away nutrients from the rest of the body. You correlate the suicide to the genitalia, when the genitalia is often perfectly healthy. I don't think your penis is going to wrap around your neck and kill you, or your vagina make you do something. Again, causation versus correlation is very important in any field of science, or even medicine.
And I like how PhantomStrider tries to say, I'm not anti-transgender. Yes, you are. If you're against people getting the help they need, unless, a last resort, then you're an asshole.
He literally says he doesn't feel he should talk on it, but did because people were curious. He wasn't against people getting the help they needed, as he himself said he understands and supports wanting to be themselves, even though it consists of changing yourself. The only asshole is you. You're the only one being hostile. He wasn't angry or aggressive. You're the one being angry and aggressive. You started off with the name calling. He just said his opinion from years ago. Which is why I made my comparison to Fuchsia Butters or Nico Koda, because they both bitch and cry about things they personally don't like and demonize the opposing side, which is exactly why I posted this meme.
Let's say he is genuinely worried about his friend. Let's give him the benefit of the doubt. Then you would want them to have the surgery. You would want them to get the surgery that would overall make their lives better. And there's another stupid argument about, oh, once you transition, you can't untransition. Even though you can. Sex reassignment surgery, despite what everyone says, is reversible.
Guess what else is reversible? A vasectomy. But that doesn't mean you'll get back what you once had. If you had your testicles cut off, they can't fix that. Sure, they give you a dick that doesn't really work besides urinating, but that doesn't mean it's entirely reversible. The look of it is, and the function of urinating is, but nothing else. We are not a plug-and-play Lego set. You'd think that would be obvious. Obviously. Also, I want to point out the irony in the procedure's name. It's called sex reassignment surgery, and yet it doesn't reassign anything. You're still the same gender you were when it was altered. Also, it tends to butt heads with their argument that genitals aren't the determining factor, which is and isn't true. 98.7% of the human population are born XY males and XX females, with the males having a penis and the females having a vagina. With that statistic, and the biology to support it, it neutralizes the one close rebuttal to the what's in your pants argument that typically people like Crow hate, because it means it does matter to them, when they claim it doesn't. Also, another fun fact, the cosmetic surgery only changes your genitals, not your chromosomes. I also mentioned this in a comment section, and this is what he could respond with. No argument, just ignorance. Typical twitard. Unable to actually debate and projects their own ignorance of topics onto others. Examples of his ignorance include, but are not limited to, his terrible comparison of sex reassignment surgery to life-saving heart surgery, not understanding causation versus correlation. Lastly, that dumb take, which I can just sum up as, obviously they can just get the other version of the surgery and have it reversed, but doesn't realize the penis's functionality, aside from urination, has been greatly diminished or nerfed. Also, just for a bit of fun discussion, plastic surgery is a surgical specialty involving the restoration, reconstruction, or alteration of the human body. It can be divided into two main categories: reconstructive surgery and cosmetic surgery. Reconstructive surgery includes craniofacial surgery, hand surgery, microsurgery, and the treatment of burns. Let's say a burn victim or a victim of an acid attack. They'd need reconstruction, which would prevent infection. The cosmetic side includes cheek work, Botox, implants, and sex reassignment. Anyways, till next time, folks. According to PhantomStrider on his Discord, he no longer has these views. This video is being kept up, however, because it does have some important information to those who don't know enough about sex reassignment surgery or have misconceptions about it. Two problems with this. One, this was like 4 years ago that he had these views. So Deviant just made this as an attempt to sort of gotcha moment for his views and try and dictate and police his views, obviously. So essentially, this is just yet another cancel culture video. Make a video about someone having views that I don't like so that I can, have them berated and attacked for these views? It's absolutely laughable and ridiculous. It's no better than the Lovely Lena situation. Secondly, your video title is completely clickbait. He's not transphobic at all, and I've just completely dismantled your argument. And third, your video doesn't contain any actual information that's about sex reassignment surgery. You claim that it's entirely reversible when in fact it's not. Once you lose your testicles and they're completely cut off, like they are in a sex reassignment surgery for a penis, there is no getting that back. Sure, you get the look of a penis back maybe, and some prosthetics that appear like that of testicles, but there's no getting that back. This video does not have any important information whatsoever regarding. Ironically, it says, or have misconceptions about it, when your video pushes misconceptions about it for a narrative. It is not that hard to find this information or the specifics out about this, but instead you didn't care about that. You wanted to try and build a narrative here, and it's truly sad. Your video is nothing but clickbait. Your video is nothing but an attempt at cancel culture and bitching and complaining because someone has views that you don't like, and you'll probably do that if you respond to this. And your video has no real truth worth of research or knowledge of what you're talking about. You push ignorance onto others that disagree with you, but it's in your own ignorance that you push ignorance onto others. You have no idea what you're talking about whatsoever, and it shows. But instead of actually, I'm going to use something from your book here, educating yourself on this, and it's relatively easy. You instead push your ignorance onto others, because if you do educate yourself, it's not going to go the way you want, and it's not going to appear the way you want. You believe what you want to believe. You don't want to believe what is actually true because it doesn't fit what you want. And it's truly sad, but that is what Deviant Crow is.